Now, he don't want easy fight. He wants the big boys. He wants the guys that are going to challenge him and going to bring danger. He wants to prove the people he's the best. And he will prove it, and he will look badass with these guys.
Usyk just responded to Benavidez, and boxing fans are losing it. Oleksandr Usyk says he's ready for any challenge. Even David Benavidez, the heavyweight king, looked calm. But his message was crystal clear: if this fight happens, it could shake the entire boxing world.
Usyk was undisputed in the cruiserweight division before coming up to the heavyweight division and becoming undisputed there. So, the thing is, does Benavidez want to go up to heavyweight, go up even more in weight, which he already did 25 pounds to go up to cruiserweight, and then go up more to meet Usyk there? Or will Usyk be coming down to cruiserweight?
Oleksandr Usyk has finally broken his silence, responding to the growing noise surrounding David Benavidez, and the reaction across the boxing world has been nothing short of explosive. What makes this moment so compelling is not just what Usyk said, but how he said it. There was no anger, no visible emotion, and no need to raise his voice. Instead, he delivered his message with the calm authority of a fighter who has already conquered multiple divisions and proven himself against the biggest names in the sport. Yet beneath that calm tone was a clear and unmistakable warning. Usyk made it known that he is ready for any challenge, regardless of where it comes from. And when he acknowledged the possibility of facing Benavidez, it didn't feel like a simple response. It felt like the opening line of something far bigger. If this fight ever becomes reality, it won't just be another headline. It has the potential to shake the entire boxing landscape and redefine what is possible across weight divisions.
Usyk fight is one of the biggest fights of this decade right now. Take it while it's hot. Don't play with him, and don't let him play with you. It is not smart for David Benavidez to give Jai Patai a shot at his name right now because he's hot right now. You go up and fight Usyk while you're hot, and it makes sense. You can always come back down and fight Patai if you want to. You understand? If you lost to Usyk, Patai fight still there. If you lose to Patai, Usyk fight gone. So be smart about this thing. Go take Usyk.
I said after the fight this past Saturday, after I witnessed what David Benavidez did, I said that I'd pick David Benavidez to beat most heavyweights. Not all, but most. And definitely not Usyk. Would I like to see it? Yeah, but there's fights that I like to see a lot more. For example, Bivol at 175, Jai Patai. So would I like to see him move up to heavyweight to fight Usyk? Yeah, I think it would be fun. I think it would be a fun fight to make. But I would much rather see him fight Bivol or Jai Patai.
Boxing, there are moments where words carry more tension than punches. And this situation is a perfect example of that reality. After Benavidez boldly called out Usyk following his dominant victory over Zurdo Ramirez, fans expected the usual back-and-forth promotional talk. But what they got instead felt very different. Usyk's response didn't come across as hype or marketing. It felt controlled, calculated, and almost unsettling. It sounded like a fighter who is completely comfortable in chaos. Someone who doesn't just accept pressure, but thrives in it. That's what made fans pause. Because in that moment, the question changed. It was no longer about whether this fight could happen. It became about whether Benavidez had just challenged the one fighter he should have avoided. Usyk's words didn't just respond to the call-out. They shifted the energy of the entire conversation.
Fans are going to win on that one for sure, but I got to say, the way Benavidez is looking, I think that got to lean towards him.
He could do, think about, hold on, wait, what did I just hear? Yeah. Think about what we just said on this show. And guys, it's with the caveat that he had the right guy in front of him, right? Zurdo at cruiserweight. But I have said so far in this show that Benavidez has to be in the conversation, considering he did it at 200 pounds, for fastest combination puncher of all time. Devin is saying that's a hell of a fight, him and Usyk. Teo just came out and said he'd lean Benavidez against the heavyweight champ.
And also, Usyk is turning 40 next year?
Yeah, he's 38.
That matters. Okay, 38, 39, 40, that's close. That's 40 years old, that matters. And the speed thing, Usyk's always fighting guys he's faster than, quicker than.
What makes this entire situation even more fascinating is how quickly everything escalated. In the past, a fighter would win a big fight, take time to celebrate, and slowly begin discussing future opponents. But modern boxing doesn't move like that anymore. The moment Benavidez secured his victory, the narrative instantly shifted. Fans, analysts, and insiders began projecting him into entirely new divisions, imagining matchups that seemed unrealistic just days earlier. Before Benavidez could even settle into the aftermath of his win, he was already being placed in discussions alongside elite heavyweights. This rapid shift highlights the power of momentum in today's boxing world. One performance can completely rewrite a fighter's future overnight, pushing them into conversations that demand immediate answers.
David Benavidez to fight Oleksandr Usyk in 2027 for the heavyweight championship of the world. That is an absolutely insane fight. I know David Benavidez is very big and very fast, and Usyk is small for heavyweight in the modern times, but I know David Benavidez just did the jump from light heavyweight to cruiserweight. But the fact that he was a light heavyweight at all, and before that he was 168, jumping all the way to heavyweight, like that's Roy Jones shit. I could see him jumping to heavyweight and fighting like a lesser champion.
Following his dominant display, Benavidez could have taken the safe route, targeting familiar opponents within his division, building his legacy step by step. But instead, his camp made a move that stunned everyone. They didn't just hint at bigger challenges. They directly pointed toward Usyk, and the way they did it made it feel intentional. This wasn't a passing comment or a dream scenario. It felt like a calculated decision to challenge the very structure of boxing divisions. In a sport where fighters are often guided carefully to protect their records and build their careers, this kind of boldness stands out. It felt less like a call-out and more like a statement of belief, a declaration that Benavidez is ready to operate on a completely different level.
What I seen last weekend, David Benavidez beats Oleksandr Usyk at heavyweight. Believe it or not, there are people that actually believe that David Benavidez beats Usyk, and it's like, bro, that's simply just crazy talk. I mean, I get it, Benavidez is a great fighter, but as of right now, he just got the cruiserweight, hasn't fought Albatai yet, hasn't fought Bivol, hasn't fought Beterbiev, fights that we actually want to see. And the thing is, I do think Benavidez is crazy enough to take on that challenge against Usyk, but as of right now, that would be a huge mistake for him. Truthfully, Usyk already has his own battles to take care of at heavyweight, you know, taking on guys like Callout, Wardley, Itama. Those are all way more realistic fights for him right now. One thing to mention though is the fact that David already said it's gonna be about 5 years before he goes to heavyweight. But the thing is, with Turkey involved, adding a lot more money to the table.
What made the situation even more intense was the tone behind the challenge. It wasn't framed as something for the distant future. It was immediate, direct, and filled with confidence. The kind of confidence that forces promoters, analysts, and even other fighters to take a step back and reconsider what they're seeing. Because in boxing, there's a fine line between ambition and risk. And the Benavidez camp appears to be walking that line without hesitation. This level of belief suggests they see something unique in their fighter, something that goes beyond physical ability and enters the realm of mentality and mindset.
You beat Usyk, you don't know how to see Battalion unless he want to come to heavyweight. Now he can go super middleweight, light heavyweight, cruiser heavy. Why would you play with a guy who's just as dangerous as Usyk, not as known as Usyk, not gonna bring you as much money as Usyk, when you can just go straight to Usyk? That's kind of crazy. In a boxing ring with those 10-ounce gloves on, anything can happen. And that's my words to David Benavidez, because I know he listens to me, he looks up to me, he thinks a lot of me. I'm gonna tell him it's okay to say no, Patai, you haven't proven yourself right now.
Timing plays a crucial role in why this story feels so significant. Benavidez has just proven himself across multiple divisions, establishing dominance and building momentum. Naturally, the expectation would be for him to continue consolidating his position. But instead, his team has chosen to look upward toward the heavyweight division, where everything changes. This is where Usyk becomes such a dangerous figure. He is not just a champion. He is a fighter who has already defied expectations, moving from cruiserweight to heavyweight and defeating opponents who are naturally bigger, stronger, and considered nearly unbeatable. His ability to adapt, control distance, and outthink opponents makes him one of the most complex challenges in modern boxing. Stepping into that world is not just a physical challenge. It's a strategic and psychological one.
Alishiki, chill. Usyk is bigger than Benavidez. Usyk will not stand in front of Benavidez and take all those combos. Is a great counterpuncher. Elite footwork, will literally keep distance controls and counter Benavidez all night until he gets TKO like the ball.
Usyk.
It's probably like about a 10%.
It's not zero.
It's not zero. Yeah, it's a higher percentage than Canelo. To be honest with you, so
I was gonna get to him.
Usyk definitely in the future, But first things first, Usyk is I give my respects to him. He's an all-time legend, and it would be an honor to fight him.
Perhaps the most intriguing part of this entire situation is Usyk's initial silence. While Benavidez's name began circulating across headlines and social media, Usyk remained completely focused on his upcoming challenge against Rico Verhoeven. This event, set against the historic backdrop of Egypt's pyramids, is more than just a fight. It's a global spectacle. For Usyk, this moment demands total focus. His silence wasn't avoidance. It was discipline.
Usyk were to retire and the belts got split up, he could pick one of those off. But fighting Oleksandr Usyk, I don't care what age he is. If you give Oleksandr Usyk all of the advantages he already has, plus now he's not the massively smaller man, I don't see David Benavidez as great as I think he is. We have weight classes for a reason. And I don't see him really standing a chance there. And maybe if this is next year, maybe Oleksandr Usyk ages and he just falls off a cliff. I mean, if he does it, that's some all-time great shit.
As the discussion grew, it naturally expanded into a debate about legacy. Comparisons were drawn to fighters like Canelo Alvarez, raising questions about what defines greatness in this era of boxing. Some fans viewed Benavidez's confidence as disrespectful, while others saw it as the natural evolution of a fighter who has outgrown his environment. But boxing has always been a sport that tests ambition under extreme conditions. Moving up in weight is not just about skill. It's about adapting to a completely different level of power, durability, and physicality. That's what makes this potential fight so compelling. It's not just about who is better. It's about whether greatness can transcend physical limits.
Yesterday, we see Turki Al-Sheikh tell his Ring magazine outlet that he's interested in you versus Usyk. What do you think of that?
As of me, for having a competitive spirit, definitely does interest me. Like I said, at the end of the day, you don't know what's possible until you make it possible. You know what I mean? And a lot of people think I can't beat Usyk, but if I really put my mind into it and, train for maybe like a year, because I barely came up to cruiserweight, I can't just go up to heavyweight like that. But if I train myself and I prepare myself, I could beat anybody in the world. But I'm never going to say never, because maybe in the future when I'm like 35, we could go up to heavyweight. But right now, I'm really just taking care of the cruiserweight and the light heavyweight.
From a technical standpoint, this matchup presents a fascinating contrast of styles. Benavidez is known for his relentless pressure, high punch volume, and ability to overwhelm opponents with constant activity. His style forces mistakes, breaks rhythm, and creates openings through sheer intensity. But heavyweight boxing operates under different rules. Power becomes a defining factor, and one mistake can instantly change the outcome of a fight. This has divided the boxing community. Some believe Benavidez's style could create problems even at heavyweight. Others argue that the physical differences would be too much to overcome. This split opinion is exactly what fuels the excitement around this potential clash.
The Mexican Monster's just become the unified cruiserweight champion of the world, and now we're talking about a super matchup in the heavyweight division? Boxers going crazy. Now, David has a long list of potential matchups in the light heavyweight division, such as your Artur Beterbiev and of course Dmitry Bivol, and in the cruiserweight division, none other than the man himself, Jai Petaya. But a showdown against Oleksandr Usyk, don't get me wrong guys, it's intriguing, but did I opt for this? Nah. As for Oleksandr Usyk, there's other matchups that I need to see him take on first. I mean the winner between Dubois versus Fabio Wally, or even Ajay Kabayel. But if Turki Al-Sheikh wants a matchup, most of the time, he gets it done. And don't get me wrong guys, if this ever materializes in 2027, it will draw eyes from all over the globe.
Interestingly, Benavidez himself has shown a level of awareness that adds depth to this story. While he has expressed interest in fighting Usyk, he has also acknowledged that there are steps that need to be taken first. He mentioned potential matchups against elite fighters like Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, recognizing that these fights would serve as critical tests. This honesty reveals something important. Beneath the bold ambition, there is a clear understanding of the challenge ahead. It's not just about chasing greatness. It's about proving readiness at every stage.
What'd you think about the fight, Mike? Great fight. Lived up to the nickname, didn't he? He did well. He did well. Right here. Mike, so after Benavidez' performance tonight, the next thing for Benavidez is what? You want to see him unify the division, go down to light heavyweight?
I want him to be where he feels comfortable at.
Did you talk to him before the fight? And if you did, what advice did you give him?
Yes, he's a great fighter. He knows what to do. I didn't have to give him any advice, but he fought great tonight.
Appreciate you, Mike. Thank you.
The mention of a potential 2027 timeline has transformed this conversation from immediate speculation into long-term anticipation. It suggests that this is not just a fantasy matchup being discussed by fans, but a possibility being quietly considered behind the scenes. Usyk remains focused on his current path, while Benavidez continues building his case. Yet despite the logic of patience, fans remain captivated. They want to see how this clash of styles would unfold. They want to know whether pressure can break precision or whether experience can control chaos.
After Usyk is done with the kickboxer, assuming he wins, which, be crazy if he didn't, who is Usyk's next opponent? So I made a list of Usyk's possible next opponent. So first, we have David Benavidez. I don't think this is as likely as a lot of people seem to think. David Benavidez just had his first fight at cruiserweight. He's probably going to move back down the other way. There's more good fights for him there that he would be more favorited in. Like against Bivol, that's a top 10 pound-for-pound matchup. Against Beterbiev, I don't think David Benavidez really has a chance.
At its core, this situation reflects the essence of boxing. It's a sport built on anticipation, speculation, and moments that capture the imagination of fans. While discussions continue across social media and analysis platforms, the real story is unfolding quietly behind the scenes. Usyk is focused on maintaining his legacy, making calculated decisions that protect his position at the top. Benavidez, on the other hand, is driven by momentum and ambition, pushing himself toward new challenges and new heights. These two paths are very different, yet they are slowly moving toward a potential intersection.